the original wasn't nice. I mean, it's one of my favorites. I mean, each time I listen to Cindy Thompson, I have to listen to Akuchem Nyami. Just that you brought some swag on it. But was it anything you sought permission for?
Oh yes. So what happened was, I had there's this song I have. So when we're doing Mean to Roll, like we kept singing that song over, and I'm like, you know what? And then when we finished in the rehearsal, I started just singing a bit of this. And I thought to myself, you know what? It won't be a bad idea to move into it. It would also sound really nice. So I spoke to her. I have worked with Cindy before. So
I see.
Yeah, so I called and said, oh, if I could get permission to record it, and she said it was fine.
Wow.
That's why.
But why didn't you choose any other song away from Akuchem Nyami?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. It was, the idea was more or less like to make it like a medley, because it had, both of them had the same subject, you know, and so we moved straight into Akuchem Nyami after the Minsuro song that I had.
We did an album review with you during the lockdown.
Yes.
And we had the chance to.
I couldn't be here that time.
Very unfortunate. You were not in town. I think it caught you off guard.
Yeah.
Yes. But great album.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So during COVID, how were you affected? I mean, during the lockdown. Well, COVID is still with us.
I know. How was I affected? I think it restricted movement, first of all. There were so many events that I had, both locally and internationally. Like, I actually had a whole tour internationally during the summer and everything. So everything had to come to a standstill. So that was it. But it gave me also time to reflect, write new stuff, plan things, spend more time with God. So I don't think it was totally wasted. Yeah.
I see. Did you record new stuff?
Yes, I've already actually started recording a few things. Yes.
So you're about to get a new album?
I'm still working on it. You know, normally the recording sessions take place, but then releasing also would, different kind of like planning will go back into it. By recording, yes, there are a few things I've already started working on.
I mean, that's a question I've been asking a lot of people, especially gospel musicians, when it comes to writing songs.
Okay.
I know most of them will say, yes, I had a dream. Each time I wake up in the morning, song comes, I record them, I have a recorder, and this and that. In your case, how do you do it?
I think mine is more or less like different scenarios. It's not just one way. There are times you get songs in a dream. I mean, I've received songs in dreams before.
Really?
The painful thing is when you receive a song in a dream and you wake up and you've forgotten. It's so painful.
Okay.
Like you'll be trying to remember the melody. Sometimes you remember the words. You can't. It's hard. But sometimes I think you be in a service. There are times the preacher is preaching about something, and then the message just hits you in a certain way, and then it can come out as a song. Certain times for me, maybe I'm reading the Bible, studying something, and then a word just hits me, and then I write with it. There are times that you may be doing some very weird, random thing, and then the song will just be in your spirit, and then that comes. And there are times that you intentionally decide that I want to write about this subject or that subject. And then sometimes, too, it's out of situations that you find yourself in. Sometimes, for me, there are times I'll be praying to God about something, about a situation or an issue I find myself in, and he just, out of the response that I receive from him, it vibes out a song. So it comes in different forms, different times. Each one of the songs have their own message and story that it came with. Yes.
But does it take a long while when you're writing?
Some take long. Some actually, within like a short time, you'll be done. Others too, you go back and forth. I was sharing with some people recently that a song like Bononi,
Okay.
I had the chorus, the verse, it was back and forth with me till it took me maybe about 2 months to 3 months to finish the verse, because I had different verses and ideas, but it wasn't sitting right for me. I felt like, no, I remember, I am who I am, something. The words were, but then the melody, I was like, what's this? No. So I over and over and over. But you wouldn't even believe it. Like the part that the cha-cha part, I wasn't part of it till maybe our final rehearsal thereabout, and then the idea started coming as we were playing. So different situations comes with the writing of it.
But why? Okay, so how did you consider Luigi McLean on the song?
I think I how do I put this? I sensed Luigi would do great on that thing. You know, I felt in my spirit he would do great. And I remember when I told him to, he was like, "Oh, but you know," but he was rather struggling with me. He didn't want to. But I don't know. I believe that he could deliver. And in addition to that, I knew that even though Bononi was English and Ga, the person also needed to understand some of the lyrics that we were using properly to interpret the song, and I felt like he could understand it better. And I'm glad that I did. I think it was a right call, so I'm grateful to God.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's listeners. In case suggestion, you're listening to Hitz 103.9 FM. Joe Mettle is my special guest. Joe recently got married. Congratulations.
Thank you, boss.
This marriage thing.
I know.
Why Ghanaians do your top like that?
Okay. And I guess.
Did you see it coming?
You mean the stuff that were being said? Oh yeah, I would have been surprised if. I mean, it's just sad, but it's one of those things.
What's sad?
It's sad how sometimes, like, people always want to cook up things. You know.
As I was reading stuff online,
there are times you
leave my brother alone
there about yourself, like,
if he
maybe that ben Satan. Maybe I'm a bad than a minima. My very acid than a minima. Not first time. Like sometimes it's just, you know, but it's well, and I'm okay.
What's your opinion about cyberbullying? Especially
I think
it's
wrong and it's off. You see, sometimes they don't realize that these are also lives of people there. You see, apart from the fact that maybe it's work to you, it's a life of someone. Imagine that your children grow up one day, comes to read things about you that may not necessarily be true. I'm not saying that, how do I put this? Some they may be able to ask you. Some they are like, maybe it may be too sensitive. If you are not dream, no. If you are not sanity. Time, no. Meanwhile, but I think, I don't know. Some may be able to take people on. Unfortunately, some can't. So, but I just pray that this will stop. Sometimes what we don't also realize is we're selling an image of our people out there that sometimes are not even true. I mean, at the point I got a call from one of the guys, companies that we work with in the States, and they're like, "Yeah, oh no, it sometimes it
travels, huh?"
The reason they call is because they find it hard to believe some of the stories they hear. So they will call trying to, because they work with reputation. So they want to follow up and like, what is all this we are hearing, blah, blah. I'm like, you know, and then then the first question they ask, is that how your people are? Because sometimes they don't realize that it's not just the people you're going after that you're destroying your, and it will get to a point. Imagine that it comes out once, it's not true. 2, it's not true. 3, it's not true. By the time you are now publishing a very credible story, nobody will believe you. And sometimes you end up realizing that even when there may be emergencies and other things you want to prompt people about, because you've said so much false stuff, it may take other people by surprise, and the credibility.
Well, a trend where people curse.
The word is like you use.
Trend.
The trend is the focus rather than the authenticity of the story. So.
People have been raining insults nowadays. Is that the way to go?
I don't even. My question is, how did we get there? You know, we were not like that before. You know, if I've been in this field or thing for too long, at least it's been a few years, and it wasn't like that before. But I guess all of a sudden it's. But I don't know. I think that's not how we used to be, and I pray that we'll be able to go back to.
When you see these kind of stories, do they get to you?
Oh, me. I don't know how God did it, but wabi me kakra. Nti, because you see, deep in my heart, I know who I am. So I don't believe that anybody can tell me who I am, if not myself. And so once I know it's not, these stories are not true, it doesn't really bother me. But it bothers me that people can make time and sit and be able to do stuff like this. Like, sometimes I ask, are you aware that these are people's lives? How would you feel at the end of the day? Say, if maybe you happen to be a different person who is not strong enough to be able to stand your ground, and later out of some of these things, I've seen people run from what they do just because of what people said, because they couldn't stand, and then you succeeded in running somebody out of their gift and their purpose just because of to shine. It's like saying that you're putting off somebody's candle to shine. It won't make yours brighter. Right. Sometimes it ends up rather destroying yours.
But how do you respond to them?
Oh, how do I? By day on my hair fine. Because the thing is this: if you know that something is not true, you just focus. I respond by being focused. That's all. I can't do anything. It's your opinion. I can't hold you.
You don't reply at all?
No.
On Twitter?
It's not necessary.
Okay, but do you get time to communicate with your fans?
Yes, sometimes I do. There are times I know I'm not the best of...
when it comes to communication?
In terms of... Because sometimes it's overwhelming, the responses, and the comments are so overwhelming that you have to literally make a lot of time. So sometimes I come online just to respond to some comments and stuff, and like I said, I'm not the best of it. I'm still learning. And so if you're listening out there and sometimes you've sent something and you didn't get a response from me, please forgive. Okay. I'm still trying. I'm trying how to respond to, because sometimes you put something there and there are like hundreds of comments. So you'd had sometimes thousands. So you have to properly take time, read through, it's a whole work. Actually.
But when you see them, do you delete them?
Or the negative ones on my page? Sometimes I don't even see them. The funny thing is, there are times that they are sent to me by other people. Like, check this thing on your page, blah. But when I think it's becoming toxic and it's attracting unnecessary arguments and things, I take them off. But sometimes I leave them.
Okay, so on your wedding, when people were writing, in quotes, unnecessary stuff, did it get to your wife?
Oh, no.
What was her comment?
She's also... I think that she's also... She will get used to it. Obviously, she knew what she was getting herself into. So
was she already on social media?
Oh, yeah, my wife is on social media as well.
Okay, so she's accustomed to that,
yes.
that lifestyle. Does she delete them? Does she raise concern? What's this guy doing? What's he saying?
Funny enough, we've never spoken. I actually don't know what she does. Okay. But she's okay with it. I mean, sometimes she would tell me, okay. And I'm like, hey, who's me? So she's not worried. She's fine.
How is she? Who is she? I'm not talking about her name. I'm asking how she... the sort of person she is.
Oh.
Is she funny? Is she very Christo-like?
Oh, she's funny. She's Christian. She's a proper Christian, but at the same time she knows how to live.
Joe Mettle is funny.
No, you know how, like, it's sometimes it's very tight, but she's Christian, but she understands. I'll say she's Christian, but she still understands life. Yeah.
I'll ask you a silly question. Okay. Do you think you were in a hurry to marry?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. But after all these years, I'm still in a hurry. No. Do you think I was in a hurry to marry? No.
Okay, so you remember some day I was with you and someone, I've forgotten. We were in a company. And you were teasing someone and said, look at you, the way you are getting slimmer because of marriage. So for me, when I heard you were getting married, I was like, Joe Mettle, really? Hey, my brother never mentioned.
I guess it's seasons. There's a season where you move from season to season, and it was that season for me as well. And that's the reason why I remember when back in the day people used to ask me, I was like, okay. Yeah, I feel like everything in our lives has to be done per we knowing that it's time for that, not being in a hurry or doing it because people are pushing you into it or people are saying that band. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I think I answered that question for maybe 8 to 10 years of my life.
Right.
It was at a point. So how do you feel when people? I'm like, because it's your life. At the end of the day, you are the only one who will live at home.
But were you pressured?
Oh no. I never allow anybody to pressure me.
How about parents?
No, I had the sort of parents who like they respect my decisions and they know that over the years they've seen what allowing me to be myself and make my own decisions have led me. So they never pressured me. I mean, definitely sometimes they have comments about how I go about things, or definitely I have to discuss it with them. They have opinions. They have things they stand by, and sometimes it's difficult to discuss with them. But then at the same time, they still respect, in terms of timing and everything. They give me that benefit.
You are okay. Very handsome. Who wasn't married, churning out hits, winning awards. What were the ladies saying in your DM?
They were saying congratulations.
Joe Mettle.
Andy. Congratulations.
Were they not pressuring you? Can I have your number? I want to visit
you have
you.
friends. I had friends, obviously.
But you know that's not what I'm talking about.
You mean, I mean. because it's past, you should have asked me these questions before now. Bear in mind that now some issues there. I may not know, but right I say, back in the day you can just you go and meet the you have a general meeting.
So why do you
I'm just joking, but it was natural. You're a young person, definitely you have people talk to you and all that. So I don't believe these are not things you spiritualize. It's natural. You're a man. There are women out there. So definitely some will say hi, some will talk to you. I believe it was okay.
But the wife, how did you meet her?
Concert.
At a concert?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that time I had seen her around, but there was till one day we spoke.
Was she? So she was not part of. Okay.
No, she wasn't part of my. No. She's actually not even in my circles.
Oh.
Not at all.
So you're performing in her?
No. So one of the I've seen her a few times. She's in our. She's also in an Assemblies of God church, and I'm an Assemblies of God member. So, so we've seen each other once or twice, but there wasn't anything till later. And she came to most of my concerts. Yeah.
So what you spotted her and what? You called her?
Oh, and I spotted, as if I hadn't spotted, and then time went by. One time we spoke, and then...
Did someone connect you?
Oh, no.
Hey, so your mouth not die like that. As people are saying.
They say your mouth die.
Yeah, people say your mouth die. Idiot. Judy.
After all the lyrics I sing, you think I know.
It doesn't matter.
You
don't sing love songs.
I think there's a difference between somebody's mouth dead and somebody being shy.
Right.
Maybe like you say, shy is fine, but they're not dead mouth. So if you can talk and you are shy, then you can't approach. So you use your shyness. Right.
No, I can't get closer. I'm scared of you bounce.
I know. And no.
So I mean, Joe
Mettle.
Joe Mettle spoke to me.
I mean, I feel like you're bouncing on there. I know.
You.